Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. I literally just finished a Japanese lesson and I had a bit of a revelation that I wanted to share with you all. So I thought I'd just record a quick video and kind of go through it all. So really, it was just thinking about the reasons why you definitely need a teacher. I'm not going to pretend to ask the question, do you need one? The answer is yes, you do need a teacher or somebody who speaks the language fluently, who can help you decipher some of those problems. So the reason I realized this was because I've been doing a lot of self-study with a few sort of private lessons dotted in and around there to help me sort of fill in the gaps and learn the sort of grammar structures I don't like doing on my own. Like, I really believe that most of the learning happens when you're not in the classroom. So when you're watching videos yourself, when you're studying, when you're doing all that hard work to really make it all fit and fall into place in your own mind. But the knowledge that a teacher or a native speaker has who is really invaluable in sort of helping everything make sense and making sure that you're avoiding some of the pitfalls, because you kind of have to remember that at any stage of language learning, you don't know enough to know when you're wrong. So at this stage, I'm a beginner in Japanese, like complete beginner. And so I don't know when I'm making mistakes. I don't know enough to understand why I'm making a mistake or what it is, unless somebody actually says, look, that's wrong, that doesn't make sense. So it's one of those things. Like, let me give you an example. So I've been reading this amazing short stories book that my wife bought me the other day, and there's a traditional Japanese fairy tale in it. So Urashima Taro, and it's about a fisherman who saves a turtle and goes to this magic underwater palace. But anyway, so there's a phrase in there which is nozoite miru, which when I did some research online and had a look at translations and definitions and stuff, I basically got to the definition of I'll take a look, or because all of my notes are in Italian, the translation language that I use, it's like dare un'occhiata, so to take a look at something. So in my lesson, I try to say, kono saito nozoite mimashita. Basically, I had a look at the site, this site, so the one that my teacher had sent me before. And my teacher looked at me really confused, and then she explained to me that actually what I thought was to take a look at something was actually like to kind of peek at something or to kind of look at something from a distance or something like that. So it was really completely different, doesn't make sense in the context I was trying to use it. And even though I'd spent a lot of time looking at it and in the story that's what it was saying and all of that kind of stuff, I didn't know that I was using something completely unnaturally. And another example, I've been using Duolingo a lot because, you know, everyone does. And I actually learned a new form of the verb. So hanashimasu is to speak. And then I saw hanasemasu, which is I can speak, which was great because I thought that was really, really good. And then today in my lesson, I've been going through that form and realized actually it's not so simple as just changing one sound because of the 3 different verb groups and all this kind of stuff. So really, just that 1 hour today has really fixed a lot of potential problems I was going to have by making associations which actually weren't true. Because as much as using word reference and online dictionaries like Jisho for Japanese or multilingual dictionaries and stuff, actually using them with a teacher and then sort of actually getting that feedback of them saying, no, that's a bit weird, that doesn't really make sense, is so invaluable. So now I can go back and look at it and understand exactly how it's being used, or really just understand it better. So obviously it's perfect because I've been able to make those mistakes, but really making those mistakes with somebody who can like give me those instructions and give me that feedback is just so valuable that I just really think that everybody needs a teacher, and I just thought it was really worth sharing just that idea of sort of taking your study to a teacher, really for them to help you solve the problems you're having. And it's one of those things that I think as well in a lesson, you always want to be making notes of phrases you want to try in the lesson. So you want to look at those notes of phrases or words you really don't understand, and then talk to your teacher or use them like I did, use them wrong, because half the time making the mistakes is how you're really going to remember it. So I'm going to remember that now, that phrase is not what I wanted to say in effect. So, you know, sometimes making those mistakes is actually more important than getting it correct. The problem is if you do that without somebody there to give you some help or instruction, then you're not going to learn as much and you're going to start making mistakes and stuff like that. So it's really important, I would say, to get the balance right of doing the self-study and just sort of experimenting and not worrying too much if everything's 100% correct. So I do this when I'm writing out example sentences, and half of them are probably not 100% accurate, but it's just about using different vocabulary and finding and stuff. And then for the main practice, I'm making sure I'm regularly speaking to a native speaker or to my teacher, who actually is monolingual. She doesn't really speak English. So even as a beginner, I'm forced to only speak Japanese to her, which means it all has to, I can't just say, what's this translation, what's that translation, which is a different challenge. But getting that balance right where you're regularly having those things means you're not going to solidify any of those mistakes and make it something that you have to relearn later, but you're still getting the practice of building sentence structures and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that as an English teacher, teachers are invaluable, but that specific revelation about helping you avoid potential pitfalls that you didn't even know existed is just so valuable. I wanted to share it with you all. So as always, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like me to discuss about languages or anything in general, send me a message or put a comment below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.